secretly control your money. Hidden wealth code. There is a law older than gold itself, a law that moves unseen through your hands, your mind, your breath. You call it money, but the universe calls it energy. And until you understand this, you will keep chasing what was meant to flow. Tonight, we walk beyond numbers, beyond balance sheets, beyond the noise that tells you to hustle harder, earn more, climb faster. Because wealth was never about accumulation. It was always about alignment. And when you learn the laws that govern this energy, money begins to respond, not to your struggle, but to your state. Before we go deeper, take a moment and make sure you're part of this journey. Subscribe to White Side of Black Coded, because here we don't just talk about success. We decode the silent forces that shape it. Every week, I reveal the hidden psychology behind wealth, power, and human behavior. Truths most people will never hear in their lifetime. Law 1. The law of inner value. Before the world can pay you, the universe must recognize your worth. You can stack all the coins you want, but if the vibration within you whispers, "I am not enough," those coins will scatter like dust in the wind. Money is an echo. It repeats what you believe about yourself. The poor man begs for value. The rich man emanates it. The wise man creates it from silence. Every thought you think about your worth writes a script in the unseen. If that script is written in fear, lack, or comparison, the universe mirrors it back, faithfully, mercilessly. To change your financial reality, you must first rewrite the language you use to describe yourself. Say nothing of what you lack. Speak only of what flows through you, because what you appreciate appreciates. When you raise your inner value, money no longer buys your freedom. It begins to orbit it. Law 2. The law of exchange. Nothing in the universe stands still. Every breath is an exchange. You give oxygen, the trees return life. Money moves by the same sacred rhythm. Give without fear, and the current deepens. Hold too tightly, and the water turns to stone. This is the paradox the greedy never learn. The tighter you grip, the less you hold. Because wealth is not stored, it circulates. And when your giving is aligned with purpose, the flow becomes eternal. But understand, giving is not sacrifice. Sacrifice drains. Giving expands. One comes from fear of losing. The other comes from faith in abundance. Every act of pure exchange tells the universe, "I trust your design."
And the universe replies, "Then I will trust you with more." The law of exchange does not ask how much you have. It only asks, how much can you let flow through you without breaking your peace? Law 3. The law of intention. The universe listens to precision, not to noise, not to endless wishes, but to focus so sharp it cuts through the chaos. Your money follows the direction of your attention. Where your focus goes, energy grows. Intention is the code that writes your financial destiny. A lazy mind cannot hold wealth, because wealth requires clarity, the clarity of a sculptor who sees the form before the marble is cut. When you act from scattered desire, you confuse the field of energy that surrounds you. It does not know which signal to obey. But when your desire is quiet, focused, unwavering, the unseen forces align in ways you cannot yet measure. Money does not respond to need, it responds to direction. Everything in this universe is coded with intelligence. Every wave, every particle, every breath moves with purpose. The same applies to your wealth. Intention is not a wish. It is not a hope whispered into the dark. It is a command written in energy. Most people misunderstand intention. They think wanting is enough. They think repeating, "I want more money," is the same as aligning with abundance. It isn't. Wanting declares lack. Intention declares direction. The beggar says, "I want." The master says, "I will." Intention is clarity in motion, the bridge between thought and manifestation. You cannot hold wealth if your energy is divided. You cannot attract abundance if your desire is scattered. Money does not respond to noise, it responds to precision. To master this law, you must silence the hundreds of inner voices that speak in fear. You must still the mental chatter that says, "Maybe it won't work. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe it's not meant for me." Those are the frequencies of confusion, and confusion kills creation. The universe cannot deliver clarity to an uncertain transmitter. So before you act, align your intention. Before you chase, ask yourself, what am I really seeking? Freedom or validation? Peace or power? If your intention is pure, aligned with truth, growth, and expansion, the universe rearranges itself in silence to clear your path. When you speak from clarity, unseen doors open. When you act from integrity, opportunities appear in perfect timing. Your money follows the story you tell with your energy. So tell it with authority. Tell it with stillness. Tell it with faith. Because what is meant for you cannot miss you if your intention is clean. Set your intention like an arrow drawn from the heart and release it without desperation, because desperation bends the bow. Faith lets it fly. Law 4. The law of balance. The universe despises extremes. Where there is excess, correction will come. Where there is neglect, compensation will follow. This is why those who rise without grounding fall with noise, and those who build with patience stand in silence. Balance is the invisible accountant of the cosmos. It ensures that no one cheats the law for long. If your pursuit of money costs your peace, the price is already too high. If your wealth makes others starve, in body or in spirit, the balance sheet will one day demand its due. But balance is not punishment. It is purification. It reminds us that the goal was never to own everything. It was to become whole. Money earned in imbalance breeds fear. Money earned in alignment breeds freedom. And that freedom is not the absence of struggle. It is the mastery of it. When you live by balance, you are no longer chasing reward or running from loss. You stand in the still point between both, untouched, unbothered, unshakable. Look around you. The sun rises, the moon retreats. The tide comes in, then fades to rest. Life breathes in, then exhales. The entire universe is a dialogue of balance. So why do you believe your financial life should be any different? When you move in extremes, obsession, greed, burnout, you break the natural rhythm of prosperity. Money gained through imbalance is like a seed forced to grow in darkness. It rises fast, but dies faster. True wealth lives in the still point between ambition and contentment. You were not created to grind endlessly until your soul grows silent. You were created to flow, to give, receive, rest, and rise again.
Balance does not mean mediocrity. It means mastery. The wise work with intensity, but they rest with equal reverence. They give generously, but also protect their peace. They pursue growth, but they know when to let go. Because every extreme creates its opposite. If you chase money in panic, life will teach you surrender. If you ignore your purpose for comfort, life will shake your ground. You cannot cheat the cosmic accountant. Every imbalance demands correction. So when the storm comes, when your plans collapse, when the flow stops, don't curse the silence. It is simply life recalibrating your direction. Balance restores order to what greed disfigured. And once balance returns, you begin to see money for what it truly is. Not power, not control, but a mirror reflecting how well you manage yourself. Because the richest man is not the one who owns the most. It is the one who remains centered when everything moves. Law 5. The law of faith and frequency. Faith is not belief. Belief is a thought you repeat. Faith is a vibration that moves the unseen. Every financial struggle begins when you forget who provides. Not the boss, not the market, not even the effort. The universe pays through channels, but it owes its loyalty to none. If your energy collapses under uncertainty, you block the current that carries wealth. Faith is the hand that opens the invisible vault. It's what allows you to act before proof appears. The poor in spirit wait to believe. The wealthy in soul believe before they see. Faith whispers, "I already have it." And so the frequency begins to match that reality. When you move in faith, you broadcast abundance, and abundance recognizes its own reflection. This is not mysticism, it's resonance. The same way a tuning fork vibrates to its twin, your inner frequency calls to what already belongs to you. If your vibration is fear, you attract situations that confirm fear. If your vibration is gratitude, you magnetize circumstances that echo gratitude. So guard your frequency like sacred ground, because it is. Faith is not blind belief. It is energetic certainty. It is the silent vibration that precedes evidence. The inner knowing that whispers, "It is already done." Most people treat faith as a candle lit only when darkness falls. But true faith burns even when the room is bright, because it never depended on circumstance. Your faith is your frequency. It is the sound the universe hears before you speak. When your frequency hums with doubt, the world mirrors confusion. When your frequency hums with conviction, the world becomes obedient. Every emotion you hold carries a vibration. Fear is low, dense, heavy, constricting. Gratitude is high, open, expansive, magnetic. When you live in fear of losing money, you emit scarcity, and scarcity multiplies itself. When you live in gratitude, you tell the universe you are already rich, and richness seeks you out. Faith is the master key that unlocks all invisible doors. It is the state that turns invisible potential into visible reality. But faith is not built overnight. It is sculpted in silence, through tests, through loss, through the unbearable moments when nothing seems to move.
The universe delays not to deny you, but to strengthen your frequency. Because if you cannot hold faith in the dark, you cannot handle light when it arrives. So guard your vibration as sacred ground. Don't argue with fear. Raise your frequency above it. Don't chase proof. Become proof. And when you walk in faith, you'll find something extraordinary. You no longer need to beg the universe. You simply match its rhythm. Law 6. The law of cause and creation. Every coin, every dollar, every opportunity is born from cause. Nothing appears by chance. Your outer wealth is the harvest of your inner planting. If you plant scarcity, you will reap struggle. If you plant intention, you will reap direction. If you plant service, you will reap expansion. The universe does not reward mere effort. It rewards alignment of effort. When you work in resistance, you swim against the current. When you work in flow, the current carries you further than effort ever could. To create wealth consciously is to become a co-author with the divine. You are not waiting for a miracle, you are participating in one. Understand this: creation begins in stillness. The richest ideas are born in silence before they ever touch sound. So stop seeking noise. Seek alignment. You don't chase abundance, you create space for it. The moment your cause is rooted in service and clarity, the universe multiplies your results. Not because it favors you, but because it recognizes itself in you. In this world, nothing appears by accident. Behind every fortune lies a cause. Behind every fall, a forgotten principle. The wise never ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They ask, "What energy caused this to appear?" You are not a victim of randomness. You are the architect of patterns. Each thought, each action, each emotion you sustain becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. Cause and effect is not punishment. It is precision. It ensures that the energy you project returns to teach you. If you sow generosity, the universe repays with opportunity. If you sow bitterness, it repays with isolation. This law governs wealth more than any other, because money itself is energy in motion, and energy always seeks balance between cause and return. If your motives are rooted in ego, the result will always carry its shadow. If your cause is service, creation, contribution, elevation, the return will be expansive beyond logic. To master this law, observe yourself before you act. Ask, what energy is driving me right now? If it's fear, pause. If it's greed, breathe. If it's love, proceed. Creation does not respond to manipulation. It responds to authenticity. You are co-creating with a universe that speaks through resonance. Every cause you initiate must align with your higher nature, or the effect will correct you until you learn. And once you truly align with this rhythm, you no longer compete, you no longer chase. You create from calm authority, and reality bends quietly to meet your design. Law 7. The law of gratitude and return. All things end where they begin. The circle of wealth closes only through gratitude. Gratitude is not a polite thank you. It is an energetic acknowledgement that says, I see the abundance and I am worthy of it. When you express gratitude, you tell the universe the transaction was complete, and so it sends another. But when you take without acknowledging,
the flow pauses, not to punish, but to remind. Gratitude is the language of abundance. It turns every earning into expansion, every loss into lesson, every delay into direction. Pause. The wise do not hoard wealth, they recycle it in time, in love, in knowledge, in presence. And so they never run dry, because the current that flows through them has no end. Every time you give thanks, truly, deeply, silently, you tune yourself to the highest vibration of all, enoughness. And from that vibration, everything returns. Everything you touch eventually returns, in form, in feeling, or in lesson. Gratitude completes the circuit of creation. Without it, the current breaks and energy stops flowing. The universe is not moved by demands, it is moved by acknowledgement. When you give thanks, you are saying to life, I have seen your hand and I honor it. That recognition keeps the door open for more. Gratitude is the alchemy that transforms ordinary earning into sacred expansion. It elevates the mundane into the miraculous. It turns I worked for this into I was chosen to receive this. Practice it as ritual. When you wake, thank the unseen for breath. When you work, thank the process for shaping you. When you receive, thank the giver and the source that moved through them. Gratitude does not ignore pain, it redeems it. It says, even this will serve my growth. And when you reach that vibration, when you can thank life in both abundance and absence, you have mastered the final law of wealth. Because gratitude aligns you with the highest truth, that nothing is ever missing, only unfolding. The moment you feel gratitude, you tell the universe, I am full, and fullness attracts more of itself. Gratitude is not the end of wealth, it is its rebirth again and again. You came here thinking money was the prize, but money was only the mirror. What you were truly meant to master was energy. What you were truly meant to command was yourself. Now you know the laws, but knowing is nothing without embodiment. Practice them in silence, walk them in humility, and one day you will look around and realize you no longer chase abundance, you have become it. If this message spoke to you, do not let it fade into the noise. Let it awaken something deeper, a remembrance of who you truly are beneath fear, beneath struggle, beneath scarcity. Because power does not shout, it whispers through awareness. Subscribe to White Side of Black Coded, where we study the invisible patterns that govern everything you desire, from the wealth you earn to the energy you become.
Remember, the wealth code was never hidden from you. It was hidden within you.
7 spiritual laws that secretly control your money. Hidden wealth code. There is a law older than gold itself, a law that moves unseen through your hands, your mind, your breath. You call it money, but the universe calls it energy. And until you understand this, you will keep chasing what was meant to flow. Tonight, we walk beyond numbers, beyond balance sheets, beyond the noise that tells you to hustle harder, earn more, climb faster. Because wealth was never about accumulation, it was always about alignment. And when you learn the laws that govern this energy, money begins to respond, not